Mm. Peace and many, many blessings. Welcome or welcome back. If you've been rocking with me, thank you because my channel is going through a lot of different changes as I am journeying and figuring out just like what type of specific content that I want to push out, what it is that I want to give. And I think sometimes I'll be looking for too much feedback from others instead of just doing what I want to do. But then I also want what I want to do to be beneficial, and I want the feedback from that. But whatever. So I realized that on my YouTube, see, I don't even do introductions. I'm Tanaya, like Papaya, or TP, or The Perspective. People call me so many different things, and as long as you're calling me it in love, call it to me, okay? A little hot, Jamaican heat. But what I wanted to do today is talk a little bit more about myself and tell y'all some things. But what I did was I asked a question on my Instagram. I'm pulling up the questions here. One of them was, I want to know about your child self and how she helped manifest the being you are today. And the other is, what are some things that you're overcoming in this season that you are in? So I want to address both of those questions in this video today, and I'm excited. I feel like, yeah, we know my name. I am Tanaya, but I am so much more than that. I'm also a light. I am also, it's just so hard to try to describe all that I am. But regardless, I am journeying. I'm Tanaya and I am journeying. And I've been journeying intentionally, I'll say, and consciously since 2020, maybe 2019. I started to get more into it. And now at this point in my life, I'm 26. I am four or 5 years into the journey, and I am finding a way to love every piece of it. Finding a way to be more gentle with myself. Finding a way to let myself know that it's okay for things to move slow. It's okay to not know. Yeah, so I want to just jump right in. Oh, look at this beautiful bird. Hi, Mr. Cuckoo. It looks like a one of those birds that suck the sugar that I first found out about in Curacao. But I want to know about your child self and how she helped manifest the being you are today. Speaking about little me, speaking about child me, tapping into the inner child was definitely intentionally part of the journey. I might take a few bites of my coconut here. I drank it, and then my lover cracked it open for me so that I could eat the slices. Um, But childhood me is and was so curious, so curious. And if I can just go back into my life about like the the circumstance or the setup of it, I was raised by my father, a single father raising me instead of a single mother. So my child self already had questions about what that looked like. Usually when I go to school or when I look on TV or when I look at anywhere other than me, there's a mother present, and there was no mother present. So that affected my childhood, and it made me curious about my mother. It made me curious about why she was gone, quote unquote, because she was still alive. She was just going through an addiction. And yeah, so that put my mind into psychology. It put my mind into mental health because a part of it was the addiction. It's okay, well, really, that's not just a that's not just a choice that people make. A lot of times it's a disease that happens by way of what somebody else tells you is okay. I'm speaking to doctors and how sometimes they'll medicate people, even medicating women after even a cesarean birth. If they're not educated properly on the medication that they're given, that can develop an addiction. And your people are going to say, oh, that's just a crackhead. You know what I'm saying? So regardless, it built up a lot of my defenses when it came to how other people view people struggling. And then it made me want to go deeper into mental health, like I said, and psychology, understanding the mind. I had and I have continually just a deep interest in the mind and how we all understand things. So my childhood self definitely put some stuff in that. Also, I'm reflecting on like this part of my childhood where I really wanted to model. Like modeling has been coming back up for me lately. I really have been wanting to put myself out there and be everywhere. Okay, I want to be everywhere. But my child self has so much shame around body, like just expressing my body, even doing a freaking, what is this called, a jumping jack. Even doing a jumping jack in gym as a kid just felt like horror. It was terrifying to move my body in public. So yeah, so she manifested me dancing in public. She manifested me having comfort in my body. She manifested me loving myself and loving my body no matter what it looked like. Yeah, so this time I was in the mall with my father, and sometimes at the mall they'll have the modeling scouts. They want you to walk on the stage and sign up and da da da, whatever, all this stuff. So one time I actually did it. I signed up. I walked the stage. I saw my dad in the crowd. I was like, "Yo, goodness, I'm really doing this." And I wound up not getting selected. I was so freaking scared. Like I was excited, but I was shaking the whole time. I did the corniest little walk, and it's fine. I can say it's corny because it's me. It's all still coming to me. Like when I look at how my childhood has manifested who and where I am today, it all still comes. When I think about travel and all the places that I've been, and my dad taking me to my first ever vacation outside of the US. We went to the Bahamas on a cruise, and I was just looking at the water, and I'm like, I need to see the water from every place in the world. So there's like this need for adventure and wanderlust, and that deep curiosity is what continually helps me manifest, because I'm tapping back into that child self who just wanted to see the world and know so many things and explore everything and have all these different experiences and understand different types of people in different walks of life. That's always been a thing of mine. Growing up an only child, right? You start to get really, really curious about things. Like, you got time to get curious about things. There's nobody else to bounce the ideas off of. So my imagination just continued to grow and grow and grow. And I fed it. I fed my imagination by way of like puzzles and playing card games and all of that. And that manifested as me liking to play head games. Like, that's why me in the Matrix, it makes sense that I'm here in the Matrix. You know what I'm saying? Childhood me signed up for this. Well, not even childhood me, a deeper part of my spirit of me signed up to be here in this realm on this time. And I think, yeah, my experiences in childhood, all of my curiosity, the things that I felt like I didn't have, was like, okay, well, I'm gonna get it now. Well, I'm gonna get it now. And then the things that are not in alignment with how I grew up, like me traveling the world, me not making sure that I have an income to travel the world, all those things, is showing me that, like, the way that I grew up, meaning I grew up with a Piscean father. My dad's a Pisces. He worked hard, worked for like 32 plus years and stuff like that. And so his rigid structure is, you work hard, you do this, and then you earn it and you enjoy it at the end of your life. And my structure is, I'm going to enjoy it all now. I'm going to enjoy it all now, and I'm not going to wait to work all my life for someone else to give me something, or for someone else to finally say, all right, now you can rest. Anyway, so a lot of it is rebellious too, like just as curious and amazing and wonderful and all that as I was really rebellious, and I did not like authoritative, or I did not like authority figures. But in that rebellion, I was never disrespectful, if that makes sense. Like, um I never asked for permission. That's one thing, and I still don't really do that. I don't really see the point in asking for permission for certain things when it comes to things that I'm going to do with my life. If this is going to disrupt the structure, then let the structure disrupt so I can do it. Because everything that I do is always for the highest and best good of everyone involved. There's nothing where I'm trying to take over the world or have world domination. I don't even have to explain this right now. Go off on that tangent, because I'm confident in the fact that I'm confident in what I said. You know, that if it's meant to, if what I'm doing is shaking up a structure or dismantling a structure or inspiring somebody else to think different, good, good. Um, so I mean, I hope I'm connecting the things. Hope I'm connecting the things and doing and answering the question. I always had a desire to freedom. I wanted to always stand out. I would look at just people doing stuff, and I'm like, I don't want to do this type of things. Like, when you were a kid, you just look at stuff, you just observe, and when you're observing, you're like, okay, I want to do that. I'm gonna get in with it. Or you just like, no, I don't want that. That's not what I would want. That's not what I desire to experience. And when you don't have a harshness in that desire, or that lack of desire to experience it, when it's not harsh and you can kind of just let it go, you usually steer clear of it. But when it's harsh, of like, oh, this is terrible, I never want to do that, then it usually does find you and meet you, just so you can see like how much you wanted it, because you put so much energy into not wanting it. It's always been me too. Very technical, very much. I was primed. I was born to do exactly what it is that I was supposed to do. My whole childhood has put me in the exact position of what I'm supposed to do. So, I mean, I can tell some more stories on and on about my childhood connecting to, where I am today. But a lot of it has to do with travel. A lot of it has to do with confidence. A lot of it has to do with tapping into psychology and mental health and looking at women. I feel like because of my own mother missing for such a large part of my life, she got healthy and started doing better in her 20s and things. I mean, after 20 years when I was in my 20s. So that's something to celebrate. We worked on our relationship, and I got to repair a lot of the things that I thought about women and sisterhood and even girls. You know what I'm saying? Because for a long time I was friends with boys. Like, men was my preferred company, and in a tomboy sense, because I developed a lot of masculine energy, or operating from masculine energy, by that being who raised me. I was like, wow, I want to be just like my dad, and not seeing that I was like really trying to be just like my dad. um yeah, I'm trying to move on from this, but I keep finding other things to say. But essentially, if you have any more questions about anything that I just said, or want me to go deeper into the story, I have a specific question about my childhood, then I love to answer it and talk about it, because I love to talk. And when I'm talking, my intention is always to explain things in a way that someone has a structure to look at themselves in that same way. Because I don't really care. If you want to listen to me, so just listen to me, then that's great, because do that. But I love it most when people are listening to me, and they're listening in a way that they can apply the messages that I'm saying, the teachings that I'm saying, the learnings about myself that I'm saying to themselves. That is the stuff for me. That's the stuff. Some things that I'm currently overcoming. Um, letting go. Letting go. I love that I just start rocking. I don't know who in me start rocking. Thank you, but they're present. But I'm overcoming right now in this season. I express letting go because I think it's at an integration step now. Instead of it just being me like a knowing and picking up information on it and watching examples of other people doing it and trying it here and there within myself, I think now it's like, no, this is who you are. You have the capacity to let things go once you see the beauty in it. So for me, I would hold on to things because I'm thinking that me holding on to it means that I'm really doing something. Like, I'm really standing up for myself because I'm not letting this go. And it's like, there are certain things where I'm really willing to die on a hill, but let me not say that. Let me be very, very intentional about what I'm saying. There are some things that I'll stand 10 toes down on, and I won't let nobody sway me from. But when it comes to letting go of certain things, I realize it really only hurts me. When I'm holding on to something, I can replay it and I can relive the feelings in my body. And those are not desirable feelings and things that I want to remember. But it's like I'm trying to teach myself, like, oh, if I let go of this, then that means I'm not going to remember that when you do this, then this is what has to happen, or something like that, where it's just this fear of settling. There's a fear of settling, which attaches to a fear of commitment. And so those are things that I'm overcoming right now, or things I've been landing, integrating. Commitment, it's okay to commit. Letting go, it's okay to let go. And I think that they're going hand in hand somehow, because commitment is like, all right, I'm going all in. And it's hard to go all in if you're holding on to stuff from the past. If you're holding on to stuff from the last time you went all in, it's like that doesn't really give you full opportunity, full grace, full everything to jump all in and go in with your whole heart. And the life that I'm creating for myself right now is requiring my whole heart. I was about to cry. It's requiring my whole heart. So other things is like opening the heart even more, opening the heart even more. I have been letting go and processing this situation that happened with my father back in May. And it's allowing me to really believe in myself, to love myself, because a part of the problem was I needed his approval so much. I needed and wanted his approval so much. Because as we see with my childhood, like that's pretty much the only approval I ever had, right? And when I started to not have his approval because his way of things and my way of things started looking different, it was like, damn, like, should I go back to your way so I could have your approval, so I could be more comfortable, so I could. And it's like, no, I'm gonna just have to rock with the discomfort real quick and find a new comfort, find a new groove without your approval. And one day you might approve of me and support me in my journey, and you may not. And I'm okay either way. You understand? So that's one thing that I have been tapping into now, like realizing that I have the power to shift the relationships in my life by how I think about them. And it's not like I'm in this terrible just relationship with my father. That's not true at all. But the way that it used to be when I was young, all the way up until like 25, 26, it was very much daddy's girl. Very much I love your approval. Very much I need it. Like all that type of stuff. I'm grateful to see it now. So that's something that's currently processing. And then being in a relationship, that's what the commitment the commitment is. You see, I couldn't even talk just now. This is one of those relationships where divine love is so present. I was watching this guy, the autistic mystic, that my friend put me onto. And he was talking about this quote: where divine love is present, no boundaries exist. Where divine love is present, no boundaries exist. And that has really been sitting with me. Um, because I get triggered a lot in this relationship, but I also get loved in a way that I haven't been loved before. You know what I'm saying? Like, I get to see that I'm still lovable when, and then fill in the blank with other times when I would have thought or perceived that, okay, this makes me unlovable, or even when I've experienced in the past, like, okay, I do this, and then another person reflects that. So it's just opening my eyes, it's opening my heart to see that I can really build with somebody, and I want to really build with someone. And I, not someone, him. You understand? It's just, it makes me very appreciative for all the heart opening that has been happening, for all the things that have been happening for me, because it makes me more willing to deal with or just accept. Yeah, it makes me more willing to accept what it is that I have to accept. It makes me able to see the divine in him and then express the divine in me, because what I'm looking at isn't what I would have been looking at before, because I'm not judging based off of ego. I'm not reacting from an ego. So those are things that's happening now, that divine partnership. I was calling it in. I surely was calling it in. And then, man, it's just so beautiful. I extended my stay in Jamaica, and while I was at the immigration office, I was thinking of that quote, like, where divine love exists, no boundaries are present. And everything in there just kind of moved for me. Now, it was a 2 hour process, but it was just like, I'm gonna talk to this person, I'm gonna talk to this person, I'm gonna talk to that person. And whenever one person started to ask too many questions or whatever, it was just like the person switched, and then I got pushed through so easily, it felt like. And I was like, yeah, when divine love is present, no boundaries exist. No boundaries exist. So I got to see, I'm getting to see how malleable this world is when you know who you are. We give thanks and we give ultimate praise. So I post a lot about my journey on Instagram. I have 2 pages. It's just.tp and the perspective dealer. On a perspective dealer, I'm more so talking about fruit, posting fruit, and then different quotes about perspective and how to shift it and how to put yourself in a mindset of winning. How to put yourself in a mindset of winning, how to put yourself in a mindset of being your own muse. You understand? And it's just TP is more everyday life stuff. Everyday life stuff where I talk about nature, being in nature, exploring different waterfalls. I don't know. I just feel like that's another thing with social media. I'm trying to figure out, and I really don't need to be figuring out because everything is already figured out. But with the social media thing, it's like I watch other people get this thing right, or what I perceive as getting it right. Like where they get a whole bunch of followers and then they know what to do with the followers, and then the account keeps growing and keeps growing and keeps growing because there's some type of strategy. There's a social media marketing strategy or something, and I don't have that strategy. I will I gained like all these followers from some piece of content that I posted just because I was like, I want to be able to see this again. I was going to post it as a story, and then I wound up putting it up as a reel. I'll post it here. I was just talking about like how beautiful nature is because I was going through it. That was in May during that time with my father, and I left the house, so I was houseless. I was jumping from place to place to place to place. Sometimes Airbnb, sometimes staying with someone else, and the only peace that I was finding was in nature. So I was like, I want to be able to see this video again so I can like remember. You understand? So instead of putting on my story, I posted it. While I put my phone down and I woke up, put my phone down. When I picked it back up, it was like notifications, likes, reposts, comments. I was like, yo, you understand? It kind of shocked me a little bit. And then after that, it just kept coming in. The account kept growing and stuff like that. And I was just like, well, that's an old piece of video. And what do y'all want from me? So it just started to make me feel like, what do y'all want from me? What is my strategy here? What do I need to sell or something to y'all? Like, isn't this what other people do? Just looking at what other people do. And I feel like I'm such an authentic person that I just do what I want. You understand? So I was talking about moon cycles, and I was just trying to find a way to post about all of my different interests on Instagram. Crap, I just peeled off the henna. I'm gonna have to put it back on now. yeah, just social media strategy. So my ego started to get hit a little bit when I started losing all these followers because I'm not posting consistent content about what people want to see. And I'm like, well, I don't know what it is that you want to see because I post about what I want to post. So I'm knowing that the way the universe works, like I said, it's all malleable when it comes to knowing who you are. It'll come to me. But those are all things that I'm overcoming, that I'm cycling through, that I'm learning more about in this season. Yeah, I get to say how I show up and I get to approve how I show up. So, thanks for watching. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with me right now. That's dope. Yeah. So, if you're interested in following me along my journey further and you just love me for who I am and not for what I do, thank you. Make sure you subscribe, share this video with anyone that you also feels like is a freaking superstar and a millionaire in the making. Period. That's what you send. That's who you send it to. I love you. I love you. And I'm done for today.